Now, racegoers, please take note of the following winners of today's museum
11, the
fundraising
winner
raffle.
there at Shark
The winner was
10,
number
and
7.
that was Super Elite over
Reed
the top.
collects
It'll be
$400.
2, 7,
Second in the
and
raffle was
3
Penny
there
Riley,
across the line
and
at
third
Shark
was
10. But
Donna
we're back here
Moffat.
at
If you could make
Kalgoorlie,
yourself known
ahead
to a
of the
committee
second
member.
last event.
That's
And
Donna
we're 5
Moffat,
minutes away from
Penny
the
Riley,
Surefire
and
Insurance Brokers Handicap. These horses making their way to the gate. Scottish Laird, number 1, is with the clerk of the course. Matty Brown riding for Ricky Brown. Beaten, Matty Derrick, should I say, riding for Ricky Brown. Beaten 10.5 lengths last start. Hasn't quite come up so far this time in. Had a good end of the season down at Esperance, but yet to really find his feet at the KBRC, a $23 outsider. Number 2, Brazen Empress, is our favourite. She's to be ridden by Lucy Fiore, Peter Fernie, the trainer. An on-speed winner here 7 days ago from the breeze over 1,400 metres. Too strong for Secret Attire. Military Action was in that field. So was Sendham. So was Mariah. So it's a key form reference race. Rising here rising 1 kilo in weight, but 200 metres in distance. We'll see whether the filly can run out the trip today from that awkward draw. She's a $3.90 favourite. Number 3, Military Action. Justin Robbins teaming up with Lisa Staples has had 4 starts in Kalgoorlie. A first up all the way winner of a maiden, then second behind Time Jean, third behind Debonair, and 7 days ago, fourth as a beaten favourite, a length and a half off Brazen Empress, who he does meet 1.5 kilos better here 7 days later. Drawn awkwardly, but likely to roll forward, you would think. He's a $4.60 chance. Number 4, the Candy Kid, led throughout on a soft 7 to break his maiden 2 starts ago, and then was beaten 6 lengths here last week behind Brazen Empress. Led them up, given every chance, faded out late, and today goes around at 20-1. Vicky Corver rides for Paul Tapper. Number 5, El Sueno, has been sent up to Brett Drury. Cassie Martin takes off 2 kilos and has been back to trials since the last start effort when beaten 7.5 by Debonair. The trial last week was solid, but again, it's hard to line up that interrupted preparation. It goes around at 20-1 today, number 5, El Sueno. Number 6, Mariah. This is my on-top selection. I've liked what this filly's produced since she's arrived on the Goldfields. She was a maiden winner 2 starts back, beating Altina by 2.5, who broke her maiden status last week to frank the form. And 7 days ago comes through that Brazen Empress race. Geordie Turner rode her that day, rides her again here. She drew barrier number 1 last week and draws barrier number 1 again. Hopefully she gets a nice flow through them today after she was balked for a run on straightening last week. She's out to each way at $5.50, number 6, Mariah. Number 7, Whiskey Mac, is a late scratching, no available rider, so we move to number 8 in Sendham. This horse again through the same form reference race behind Brazen Empress, but was luckless on that occasion. They go with the claiming apprentice today, 53.5 kilos after Chanel Cooper's claim, and he was 3 and 4 deep the trip last week, no cover at any stage, and still loomed into it halfway up the straight. Thought it was a really good effort from Sendham, and he has been one of the better backed runners in this field. 750, now into 480 for number 8. Number 9, Aiden's Choice, was beaten 7 lengths at the hands of Debonair last week. He's a really progressive type, Debonair, but that was a big beaten margin. $16 here. Cashel Do Run and Gary Bowen combined with number 9. Number 10, Colchino, thought there might be some money for him. He's on a 4-day backup after racing at Belmont Park on Wednesday. He was beaten 5 1/4 by Gracias Dio, and he did follow the winner into the home corner. But I still think here, 4 days later, quick spin around, dropping grade, he has to be respected, Colchino, number 10. Number 11, Minor Detail, a bit of a one-pace type from Josh Brown's yard. Braden Garth rode him last week. From the wide draw, he's probably going to have to punch forward to try and find a spot, but he's every chance of getting caught out wide at 20-1. And the final runner, number 12, Let the Dust Fly, is looking to win her first race at Kalgoorlie at her 11th attempt. Comes into this a month between runs and goes from 1760 back to a mile. She's likely to settle close-handed to the speed, but I think a few of these will have a bit too much zip for the mare late. She's a 40-1 outsider of the field. 90 seconds away from race number 6 at Kalgoorlie, and we have a new favourite here. Military Action's been backed into favourite. My late mail numbers though, 6, 2, 3 and 5. 6 each way Mariah should get a lovely run leaders back here for Geordie Turner, and hopefully from there she can get herself into the clear on straightening and run a cheeky race here, this filly. From 2, Brazen Empress did a really good job to hold them off over 1400 last week, but the extra weight and the extra distance does concern me. 3, Military Action, was the beaten favourite in that race, had to push his way off the inside on straightening, and then was only, I thought, fair to the line thereafter. And 5, El Sueno, I'll include there as a point of difference runner, having a mid-prep trial, should get a nice soft run, and some of those recent efforts haven't been too bad, and he goes around a big price here. Market movers, 3 Military Action, who is $5 into $4 and now favourite, as well as Sendem, who is $7.50 into $4.60, and Colchino, who is $14 into $7. So a bit of a variety of opinions here ahead of the Class 2 mile, sponsored by Surefire Insurance Brokers. My numbers are 6, 2, 3 and 5. Royce Newton, our race caller, goes 2, 3, 6 and 5. So the same four but in a different order. I'm with Mariah. Royce is with Brazen Empress. Going forward is the new favourite Military Action. So we'll send you the way of Royce for the call of the second last out of Kalgoorlie.
Thanks, Scott. Yes, these runners coming forward well. Let the Dust Fly goes forward in the black cap of the two Tapper runners. There's Colchino. We saw those colours jump out of the ground earlier on today with False Statement. So Minor Detail goes forward together with also Sendem. So Brazen Empress to come forward now on the second line of betting from a fixed odds perspective. Anyway, $4 Military Action, $4.40 Brazen Empress and Sendem as well. They've both had support. Sendem very short. El Sueno goes in. So the last one will be Aiden's Choice going over the mile today. And we'll be set for the Surefire Insurance Brokers Handicap. Field of 11, wide open market. Good race coming up. Standby is Aiden's Choice and goes forward. And we're now set. The two Drury train runners drawn the inside. And the gates fly back from the mile. They're off racing. Now Mariah holding her position down on the fence, pushing forward, Let the Dust Fly, together with the Candy Kid. So the two Tapper runners are on speed. Brazen Empress trailing them across, and up there as well, it's Aiden's Choice. They were being followed by Military Action, who's 3 wide, just needs to slot in. Scottish Laird was next. Mariah just settles down midfield now. They were followed by Minor Detail. A length and a half to El Sueno, who had no early speed. Likewise with Sendem, and it's Colchino at the tail. So a good 10 lengths covers them as they leave the 1,100 metres behind. It's the Candy Kid who shows the way. Just over a length on Brazen Empress on the second line of betting. Then we had Military Action, who gets closer to the fence. Down on the inside, Let the Dust Fly. They were followed a length to Aiden's Choice, and then Mariah just cruising midfield at this point in time. And then next of all, Scottish Laird, the top weight, followed by El Sueno, the outside Minor Detail, and well back to Colchino and Sendem. Has plenty to do, 600 metres to run. Speed starting to come into the race, and it's the Candy Kid showing out a length. Brazen Empress. The rider hasn't asked for her yet. They were followed next of all to the outside. Scottish Laird with a sustained run. Likewise, Military Action down on the inside. We have Let the Dust Fly with Aiden's Choice, but around the turn and on the outside, Brazen Empress takes the lead. It's Brazen Empress from the Candy Kid trying to respond on the fence. Where's the swoopers? Mariah going through her gears now. Then Let the Dust Fly, but it's Brazen Empress with 100 metres to run. Nicely clear. Here comes Mariah late, but Brazen Empress goes on and wins. Second in the fast finishing Colchino, just ahead of Mariah. They were followed in by the Candy Kid. Next in El Sueno, followed by Let the Dust Fly, Military Action. Well back then to Minor Detail with Scottish Laird, and then they were followed in next of all by Aiden's Choice, and Sendem was one of the last. Well, Brazen Empress, beautiful ride there by Lucy Fiore. That's 5 winners now from 6 races that go to Peter Fernie. So Pete just continues his dominant run here on the Goldfields in very competitive betting affairs as well today too. Brazen Empress, your winner, has defeated the 10. Colchino, who jumped out of the ground late, was near last at the 600. 6 has finished third. That's Mariah, who continues to run good races. And 4 gets fourth. That's the Candy Kid. 2, 10, 6 and 4. The numbers across the line here. And a brilliant ride there by Lucy Fiore. Drawn the outside. She just knew she had to get this horse up on speed and ideally one off the fence. She did that. And then at the top of the straight, joined in quickly, was travelling strong. Got the better of the Candy Kid. The swoopers were, of course, Mariah and Colchino just getting into the clear late and then needing time to let down, but the race was run and won at that point in time because Brazen Empress had much too of a head start at the furlong pole. Number 2, your winner, Pete Fernie, Lucy Fiore combined with Brazen Empress. That's a double for Lucy today as well by Safeguard from Paris Memory and owned by the Gold Light Nominees Proprietary Limited Syndicate. Brazen Empress brings up her second win at the track, her third win I should say. Second in was the 10, that's Colchino. So both of the Felicity Forbes Ives runners have finished second here today by Machino from Fommer Light, owned by A. Anderson, Mrs. T. Anderson, S. Anderson, and Miss R. Anderson. Luke Campbell in the saddle for Felicity Forbes Ives. Third in was the 6, that's Mariah for Brett Jury, and Jordan Turner by Rommel from Holy Mountain, and owned by J. Jury, Paige Sanders, also M. Byrne, Paul Watson, Johnny Prosser, R. Pascoe, Brian Pascoe. Fourth in was the 4, the Candy Kid, the pacemaker, who's held on for a minor check, Paul Tapper and Victoria Corver. 2, 10, 6 and 4, 3/4 by a short neck, 1:38.77 as these runners return to the mounting enclosure after the running of the Surefire Insurance Brokers Handicap. Race 7 is the last event on today's card. Another field of 11 to go around and a good betting affair as well. It's the Cats WA Handicap over the 1400 metres. 4:40 the start time. The scratching's 12 and 13. Maddie Derrick goes on to number 8, Deliberation. So a field of 11 to go over the 1400 in the last. Your favourite is number 3, Captain Rogers at $2.35. Ahead of Dance of Thunder, $4. No Whispering, $5.50. Passion Prince at 10. They are your main players in the market in the lead up to the Cats WA Handicap, which gets underway at 4:40. In the meantime, interim numbers 2, 10, 6 and 4 as Lucy returns with Brazen Empress after taking out the Surefire Insurance Brokers Handicap.